What's up everyone, Max Tech Toy Box here, and this is a video comparison between the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2 and the Garmin Venu. Okay, so first things first, the most important detail that we must go over is the cost. So the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2 right now is actually on sale for $249.99. This is the 44mm version. I believe you can get the 40mm version for like $229.99. Normal retail price is about $270 for the 40mm and then $299 or $300 for the 44mm. Now, the Garmin Venu comes in just one size, 43mm, and it usually retails at $399, but right now you can find it on sale for about $299. Okay, so just looking at both of these devices, so this is the aluminum version, and I have the bumper case around here and then also the rinky bezel that I added onto the outside, okay, so that I can get this sort of look here. I like that black and gold, as you guys know from a lot of the videos that I do. So of course the display on the Galaxy Watch Active 2 is larger, okay, sort of, and also because of this ring that wraps around here, it's not full edge to edge. Neither is the Galaxy Watch Active 2, but it definitely comes closer to the edge than the Garmin Venu. Turning things around back, they both do use industry standard 20mm watch straps. I do wish that it used 22. That would give it a little bit, well, usually the 22 is reserved for like the larger watch sizes, but sort of is what it is. They both have Heartrate monitors on the back, optically based. Samsung has 6 diodes, which you really can't see. There's 2 slots here for the Garmin Venu, but when I actually count them, I know you guys can't see them, there's about 6 different LEDs. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that 6 diodes as well. Couldn't find a hard number anywhere online. No charging sort of port here on the Galaxy Watch Active 2 because it does just use wireless charging, the Qi standard. Okay, and then here you have the proprietary pins, pogo pins here on the Garmin Venu. Let me see. The Garmin Venu also has a pulse ox reader, so that's what these other 2 little ships would be, and they light up red. Okay, and like I said, they both use, and then eventually with the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2, you're going to be able to get EKG reading, so that's the reason why you have this sort of metal back there, but nothing as of right now. Okay, so overall, they both, in my opinion, they're both very good looking watches. I like the design aspect of them both. I like what Garmin did by bringing this OLED panel here. And of course, the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2 has just always been a very good looker in my opinion as well, very futuristic. Let's go over some of the things that both of these devices do offer. So first off, before I get into sort of, they both do have always on displays. Right now, the reason why they're not showing is because I'm not wearing them. So the way that they detect if you're wearing them is because it uses the optically based heart rate monitor on the back. If it's not getting a reading, then it knows that you're not actually wearing the device. So you see if I put my finger here behind it, it should be able to detect your heart rate and it should know that I'm wearing it. On the Garmin Venu, it's easier. On the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2, pretty much it only detects that I'm wearing it when I'm actually wearing it on my wrist. It does not, if I'm like just put my finger on the back, it never really picks up that way, which depending on which side of the fence you sit on, that may be a good thing or a bad thing. Okay, so now getting into what they both have as smartwatches, they both have pretty good fitness trackers. So they both have GPS. With GPS, you get GLONASS and Galileo. I will say that the Garmin Venu is much more accurate in picking up your GPS signal, and in terms of length of runs and things of that nature, Garmin Venu is much more accurate to what my phone was picking up. This is a little spotty. The Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2, I'm just gonna call this a Samsung. Samsung is a little bit more spotty, off by maybe like 0.2 to 0.3 from time to time, and that's with using the most accurate GPS, because you have a couple of different ways when you go on to running with the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2. You can use just like GPS or accurate, or it says like you can improve the accuracy, and that's with using the most accurate GPS positioning. And still, it's not as good. It's a little spotty. Both of them have a slew of different workout features. You can track strength training on here, running, treadmill, swimming, pretty much almost any and every exercise that you can think of, you can track on both of these, and then they both have the option for other. I do think that Garmin Venu has a little bit more of a robust fitness tracking ecosystem, but the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2 is no slouch either. Also, they are both able to pick up how many reps you do for a particular exercise. Samsung's way of tracking workouts is a little different in that you can actually break up, so you can just have a regular strength training workout, but if you want to break down that strength training, like let's say if you're doing pull-ups and then you go over, you do bench, and you do things like that, you actually have them labeled as different workouts, so you can jump from one to the next. The way that Garmin does the workouts is you just do strength training, and then it automatically is able to recognize based off of your movements what exercise you're doing. So kudos to Garmin for that. And then it does have automatic rep counting as well, rep tracking. Garmin is much more accurate than the Galaxy Watch Active 2 is in that regard. And I like what Garmin does there, so pretty cool. Also, they both have the ability to, of course, track steps, sleep tracking, heart rate monitoring, stress monitoring, things of that nature. They're both good at that. Garmin also has a pulse oximeter reading, so you can get continuous pulse ox readings. It also has the body battery. You also get menstrual tracking with the Garmin Venu, and you get respiratory rate with the Garmin Venu as well. So don't get those on the Samsung Galaxy Watch. I will say that this is something new that just came to the Garmin. Well, the Garmin Venu itself is a brand new brand or subset within Garmin, but that's new to like the Garmin Vivo Active. I think you were getting some of those features already with like the Garmin Phoenix devices, but either way, you do have those different fitness tracking abilities on the Venu that you don't have on the Galaxy Watch. Now, whatever, it is what it is, just objectively speaking, one has and the other one doesn't. In my opinion, the pulse ox, and I really didn't touch on this too much actually in the review of here. I think I did actually when I went over the application. The pulse ox to me is a little, I wouldn't say gimmicky, but it could be better. Normally you're supposed to be setting between 95 to 100%. There were some readings that said that I was lower than that. I'm not saying that that information is incorrect, but I just doubt it. If you started to desat below 95%, you would become a little symptomatic. You usually are not asymptomatic desatting below that, because it means that your tissues are not getting the perfusion that they need, and that can become an issue. So I think that the idea of the pulse ox is nice and convenient, and there's definitely a certain subset of users that could benefit from that, especially patients that for whatever reason they may need to monitor things of that nature. But I just don't think that it is as accurate as it could be. So that is what it is. Also, so now moving on to what they both also have, two-way notifications. So with the Garmin Venu, you can respond to notifications with certain built-in responses that you have. You also can make custom notifications. So let me see if I can pull up a notification really quickly. Yeah, so like right here is a message, and swipe up on the bottom, and I can reply. So I don't have any custom messages, but I can make custom ones within the Garmin Connect application. On the Samsung, let me see if I can pull up the Samsung notification here. So with here, I can respond, tap it, and I can voice to text. I can send an emoji. I can type on the screen. These are some sort of set replies that you have. You also can create custom ones. And it's very cool that there are some like depending on the content or what message was sent, there's some custom notifications that are already sort of pre-made. So pre-made custom notifications that come through, which is good. Depending on what side of the fence you're on, some people think that it's creepy that your messages are being read and they're coming up with these pre-made custom notifications. But for other people, they will find that information convenient. So just putting that out there. So in terms of notifications, you definitely have more options here with the Galaxy Watch Active 2, not as much on the Venu, but at least you do have the option for two-way notifications on the Venu, because there are a lot of smartwatches that don't have that ability. Moving on, next, some things, so let me go back home. Some other things that they both have the ability to do, music playback, so you have the ability to download music directly to both of these watches, and you can play them when you connect a Bluetooth headset to the watches, so you can stream music and listen. You also, so like I said, you can download music directly to it with like the Garmin Music Playback and then the Samsung Music Playback, but then you also can stream via Spotify on both of these platforms as well, which is pretty cool. So if you have any custom playlists or albums or anything like that that you've downloaded that are part of your Spotify account, albeit you have to have a Spotify premium account, you can download those directly onto the watches themselves. Also in the Garmin Venu, you have the ability to download Deezer, iHeartRadio, and I think Amazon Music as well. On the Galaxy Watch Active 2, you only have Spotify, which is interesting, you know, because you would think that with the Galaxy Watch Active 2 you would have more flexibility, but you don't have as much. Moving on. Oh, okay, well, still sort of talking about that. Samsung is a more intuitive way of transferring music over. With the Galaxy Watch, the wearable application on the phone, you can transfer music directly from the phone to the watch. And then obviously you can also connect it to the computer and transfer it over. With the Garmin, you can only connect it by, or transfer music over by connecting it to a computer. And that process is very tedious. It's not the most user-friendly, if I'm being honest. So in my opinion, if you have your own music library, I think that the Galaxy Watch Active 2 is just easier in transferring music, especially if that music is on your phone. It's very easy to just send the music over. So those are really sort of the biggest things, in my opinion, for like smartwatches in terms of what makes something smart, especially for fitness trackers. You have to have a robust fitness tracking abilities. You have to be able to get really good step tracking, sleep monitoring, heart rate monitoring, being able to track all the different exercises that you want to do, stress monitoring, things like that. Those are very basic things. Notifications, being able to respond to notifications in different ways, and then being able to listen to music when you're working out. Those are very good things. So now let's go over some of the intangibles and things that are a little bit different between the two. So the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2 has a speaker, right, and a microphone. So with the speaker, you can actually listen to music without having to connect a Bluetooth headset to it. Now, you may or may not want to do that, but that is just an option that you have. And in my opinion, options are always better for the consumer. The more options you have, the better. Okay. Also on the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2, you have the ability for Qi charging. So that's good because if you have another Samsung device, specifically the latest Galaxy line like the Note and the S10 Plus or the S10 series, you can use reverse wireless charging to just top off the battery on the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2. You can't do that with the Garmin Venu. However, it does take a longer time to charge the Samsung device. The Garmin Venu has, they don't advertise it as quick charging, but it definitely charges a lot faster. And the battery life between both of these devices is actually very comparable. Because of that OLED panel here on the Venu, it's not as of a long lasting battery as you were getting before with like the Forerunner 645 and the Vivo Active. So it's good that the battery actually charges fast on the Garmin Venu. Also, Samsung has a LTE version that you can use, has more RAM, and then of course, because it's LTE, you can make and receive phone calls without having to be tethered to a phone. So that's cool, and that's useful for some people. And again, like I said, the more options that you can have, in my opinion, the better. Moving on, even though you have LTE, if you have the Bluetooth version, you also can make and receive phone calls directly from the watch as well. So if I was getting a phone call, I could pick up and talk directly to the speaker and the microphone. You can't do that with the Garmin Venu. So you have two-way notifications, but you can't actually make or receive phone calls from the Garmin Venu. Also, differences on the Samsung device, you can use Bixby if that's your thing, if you like it. I don't use Bixby that often, but Bixby does integrate with smart things, and if you have a smart home and there's devices that are connected, you can tell it to turn on and turn off different things. So I do think that Bixby is a long way from being anything like the Google Assistant or even Alexa or even Siri. But again, you do have the option to use Bixby to do those different things, and you can ask it the weather, you can ask it things that you have going on for your day. So let's see. Hi, Bixby. Turn on kitchen lights.
All right, turning on 2 kitchen lights.
Okay, so cool. And then I could say, let's see, let me go back. And then of course I could have just tapped those to turn it on and off. Oops. Hi, Bixby. What will the weather be like tomorrow?
Tomorrow, it will be mostly sunny with a high of 85 degrees and a low of 67 degrees.
Perfect. So, like I said, it sort of is what it is. When I did my original Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2 review, Bixby was picking up in random times when I wasn't saying anything at all to trigger it. So, like I said, it is what it is. But again, it's an option. Options are always better for the users. Next up, with Garmin, you can connect a Bluetooth heart rate monitor. For fitness enthusiasts, that is a huge plus, because if you want the most accurate data and heart rate tracking, you're just gonna get better heart rate tracking when you wear like a chest strap heart rate monitor. So when you can connect this directly to a chest strap heart rate monitor, you're just getting better data, and that better data would help to facilitate better information that Garmin supplies you with, such as your body battery, such as your training effect, your training load, things of that nature, stress markers. So it's just better. I wish that Samsung would add that ability. It's just a simple software update. Wear OS has that ability. That would really make this, that would put this pretty much over the edge. Even the Apple Watch has that ability. They've had that for like, I think the last 2.5 or 3 years. So Samsung, you guys definitely need to add that, especially this is the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active. And like, I know you want to say that the that the optically based heart rate monitor is supposed to be good. Yeah, it's decent, but it's just not going to be as accurate, especially for HIIT exercises and when you're lifting weights. So I would definitely like them to add that ability there. Also, they both have the auto workout tracking feature with like running or walking after like 10 or 15 minutes. The Samsung device will automatically pick up and notice that you're tracking. On the Garmin Venu, it's the same sort of thing. You actually can change the settings. So like if it's, I think you can go down to like 5 or 7 minutes on the Garmin Venu. I think the lowest you can go down on the Samsung device is 10 minutes if I'm not mistaken. But either way, auto tracking is always better because it's just easier for the user, especially if you're like a novice or somebody who is trying to get back to working out and you just start wearing the watch. You may forget to start a workout. So if you go out and you run and you're like, oh crap, you stopped or you didn't remember to start to launch that workout, thankfully it goes back and it retroactively tags that data, so it's always monitoring because of that heart rate monitoring, because of the movement and the GPS, so it knows exactly how long you've been running for and the distance traveled. So kudos to both of them to just make things easier. When you can make things easier for the end user and it doesn't feel like you have to jump through a bunch of hoops and circles to track information, that's always better. Okay. Both, in my opinion, they're great because they just work because of that ability. Also sleep tracking, the continuous heart rate monitor, the stress tracking, it's just collecting. Now this may sound bad to some people, but it's collecting this data when you wear it. So because it's collecting the data when you wear it, you don't have to go and start and stop different things. And then you can just go back, pull up the applications and see, well, hey, earlier today, I did feel stressed out. Was I stressed out? Yes, I was. Or no, I wasn't. Or you can go and see, oh, I worked out this morning. Crap. I worked out this morning and I didn't track the workout. Pull it up. Oh, look, it's saved. It's saved automatically onto the device. You want to see what your heart rate was on average for the day. You want to see what your sleep tracking was, how many hours you were in deep sleep versus REM. It just has that information and it's just automatic. So kudos to both of them for just making that barrier to entry very, very low. And they both connect to third-party applications like MyFitnessPal, so you can get a robust or complete full picture, for what your caloric intake is in your workout. So you just get, like I said, a more complete picture, which is always awesome. In my opinion, though, the Garmin Connect application is much more robust, a lot more information that you're getting. The Garmin Venu series, or just the Garmin series of devices, they all work with First Beat technology. So you're just getting more information like training effect, like training load. The Garmin Venu, as you guys know in my review, for whatever reason, it doesn't give you that information, but a lot of the other Garmin devices, they do. You do get the body battery though, you get the respiration rate, the pulse ox, all that information is just there. So you can go back and view it and see, if you're at your your peak training. Also VO2 max, you don't get that with the Samsung device either. So you just get more robust information with the Garmin Venu. In my opinion, in terms of the more complete smartwatch, the Samsung Galaxy device is the more complete smartwatch. The Garmin Venu is very close though, and the only reason why I can't say it isn't completely is because of things like, when you think smartwatch, you're thinking like gold, like 007, James Bond type stuff, like being able to talk to your watch, being able to talk and dictate different things and have your watch do things for you that make it smart. Not saying that you don't have, because you still have smart things on the Venu, but you just get more smart features on the Samsung device. Now, on the fitness side of things, the Garmin Venu is a much better fitness tracker, hands down. So because of, like I said, all that robust information that you receive, the more accurate GPS positioning you get, and like I said, even the pulse ox that you're getting, the respiratory rate, things of that nature. So just a better overall picture of your health. So This is Max Tech Toy Box. I hope you guys enjoyed this video comparison between both devices. I think that you can't go wrong with if you decide to pick up either one of these. I think that the Galaxy device is just a better smartwatch. If you want to do more smartwatch things and you also want to work out and be able to track your workouts, and you're sort of, I want to say novice, but you're not really looking to collect a whole bunch of data, then I think that the Samsung device is better. The Garmin Venu is much better at collecting all of the information for your fitness endeavors and fitness tracking and things like that, just to give you a better complete bill of health and information about your health, in my opinion. So both are great, and they both serve different purposes. I think that adding one or two more features to either one of the devices would really make them more complete. Like I said, if you just add that ability to connect a Bluetooth heart rate monitor to this device and you get some first beat integration. I don't know why Samsung stopped integrating. I think the very first Galaxy watch, I think, was like the panel that it didn't fold, but it was like the curved panel. That one had first beat technology. Since then, it hasn't been in there. They add that first beat integration so you get things like VO2 max, and then you connect it to have the ability to connect it to a Bluetooth heart rate monitor, then this would be perfect. If you add the ability to bring a speaker onto this device so that you can sort of talk to it and tell it to do different things to reply to messages, then I mean, this would be perfect. And that's pretty much all you would really need to bring to this device to make it perfect, in my opinion. I didn't touch on battery life, or maybe I did, I don't remember, but battery life between them both is very comparable and is about the same. Actually, I did touch on that already. Battery life between both of them is about comparable. I think that if you don't work out as much, you actually would get more battery life on the Galaxy device than the Venu when using the always on display, which is interesting. So this is Max Tech Toy Box signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the video comparison. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your guys' thoughts. If you guys have any questions about the devices, leave them down below in the comment section.